Greetings, everybody! TPrower once again. After only getting a taste of what the new generation has to offer back in September, we've reached the next stage for My Little Pony Generation 5, one of its two, yes, two, cartoon series. The Netflix series, Make Your Mark, is still a bit of a ways off, but in the meantime, we have the YouTube series, Tell Your Tale. I know not everyone's been on board with this particular show, from the animation to the character designs, comparing it to Pony Life. Well, as someone who enjoyed Pony Life, I don't have any problems with how this show looks. It still looks cute and charming, even if some of the character designs seem a bit different from their CG looks. For instance, Hitch is now sporting quite an impressive jawline. Still, they're keeping the diverse heights and sizes of the ponies consistent, meaning Pipp is still, by comparison, the adorably small and chubby one. I can also appreciate that Sunny is indeed still an Earth pony, but she's keeping the rainbow highlights from her alicorn form. Some were also disappointed that none of the movie's voice cast reprised their roles. To which I say, it was always a long shot that they return, I think. Having heard the new voice actors, though, I have nothing to complain about, as they still sound very fitting for the main five, even if I don't really recognize most of them from previous works. This time around, we have Jenna Warren as Sunny Star Scout, Anna Sani as Izzy Moonbow, J.J. Gerber as Hitch Trailblazer, A.J. Bridle as Pip Petals, and Maitreyi Ramakrishnan as Zips Storm. Zips is the only one I really recognize, since she also voiced Priya in Pixar's Turning Red, which I also enjoyed, by the way. As I said back when I did my recap/review of the G5 movie, I'm doubtful about whether or not I'll be posting reaction videos to these episodes. Not because I wouldn't want to, but because, with things as they are these days, I don't have as much free time to record by myself, and moments like these where I'm able to put a video together are rather sparing. So, I do apologize for that, but I still want to get something out there for you guys, and to let you know my thoughts and opinions on this new show. So even if I can't make this a regular thing, at least I can make it work for the first batch. I'm also not entirely sure about the proper episode order, so I'm going by what Equestria Daily feels is the right order. So, without further ado, let's get to it! Our first episode, and our introduction to Tell Your Tale, is A Home to Share. The Maritime Bay lighthouse that Sunny and Argyle called home has thankfully been rebuilt, and is newly christened the Crystal Bright House. No mention of whether or not Sprout helped rebuild it, since he was the one who destroyed it, but I've got something else to talk about with him a bit later. It seems like the main five are actually all planning to live together in this new lighthouse, something Zip was apparently unaware of. Izzy did say at the end of the movie that they never have to be apart, and every pony else seems on board. So, with a song to sing as they work, the ponies get started on making the Bright House feel like home. Unfortunately, there's some strong Castle Sweet Castle vibes going on here, as they all have their own individual clashing ideas of how to spruce up the place, and none of them are really coordinating. Zip ends up covering the walls in glue rather than paint, and gets to experience what Pip went through when she was left hanging at the Zephyr Heights Gala. Pip adds her own personal touch with paintings, a throne, and even an ice sculpture of herself, all while live-streaming this DIY makeover to her Pipsqueaks. Hitch tries to teach one of his crab friends, McSnips-a-Lot, how to build a shelf. But while he is a living magnet for critters, he seems to lack Fluttershy's ability to make them listen to him. As for Izzy, she not only paints haphazardly, she also has a personal breakfast robot, with a few bugs to iron out, and she's very liberal with glitterizing everything she can. All Sunny can do is watch in horror at the mess being made and everything descending into chaos, and the picture of her and her dad comes dangerously close to being broken again. They still haven't said it outright, and I doubt they will, since they didn't even do so for Applejack's parents. But they're still laying on strong implications that Argyle really has passed on, and Sonny still misses him very much, as do we all. He was best pony dad, after all. After a brief but touching heart-to-heart with the picture, that kiss really made me smile, Sonny realizes what she needs to do, and rallies the others to work together rather than apart, and with their efforts combined, and before he can say, "Besties!" the Crystal Bright House is cleaned up and ready for its new housemates. Argyle will be very proud of you, Sunshine, for giving new life to the old lighthouse. Next is Zipp's Flight School, which tackles a subject I'm glad this show is covering, because it makes sense. Considering how long magic must have been gone, I doubt any Pegasus alive today was ever able to fly before. So with magic restored so suddenly, none of them are coordinated in the air, ending up in a lot of crashes, like poor Fifi the fruit delivery pony. Sort of like how Twilight needed to get used to her wings when she became an alicorn, or Spike when he got his wings post-molt. What the Pegasi need is a flight instructor, and Zip's the most likely candidate, given how much she's trained herself with parkour and gliding. Unfortunately, her coolness has never enjoyed being the center of attention, already refusing to allow Pipp to make a fan base for her. But come on, Zipsters is almost accused his name as Pipsqueaks. Anyways, Zip finds herself running Wings, or the Wonderful Institute of No-Gravity Skywalking, much against her will. Taking part in this one, of course, are Zoom Zephyrwing, Thunder, Fifi, and Windy. Zip's expertise is a little more advanced given her solo training, so she finds it difficult to bring herself down to their level, and ends up setting up some unrealistic expectations with a demonstration of her own flying prowess, while she's forced to witness uncoordinated flying, sloppy sky pictures, and, in Windy's case, anthophobia. Hey, if I saw a flower suddenly smile at me, I'd freak out too. That thing gives me real Flowey vibes. Zip's ready to call it quits and wash her hooves of the whole business, when she watches a mother teaching her foal to fly, and remembers how her own mother encouraged her not to give up when she practiced as a filly. Considering how distant Zip and Queen Haven seemed in the movie, it's nice to see that they were indeed very close once upon a time, even if they might not be so much these days. With her spirits renewed, partly thanks to Izzy whispering some timely encouragement, Zip becomes more invested in her teaching, with help from her friends, and the 4 trainees are soon flying with perfect ease, officially graduating from Wings. And while Zip claims this was a one-off thing, she really is a good flight instructor. And I've said before how I wouldn't be surprised if she revived the Wonderbolts. Also, Hitch just can't escape being splattered by fruit. Next up is Sisters Take Flight. Her trendiness and her coolness are officially moving out of Zephyr Heights to live in Maritime Bay. As is expected, Zip's content to only bring 1 bag of belongings with her, while Pipp has just a few necessities to take with her, and can't sell for just 1 comically overstuffed suitcase. She even takes the forced unpackings in stride when they provide some nice photo ops, and she's bringing Cloud Puff with her. Of course, the princess is moving away from the royal capital is a huge deal, so Queen Haven's arranged a massive farewell ceremony for the 2 royal sisters, emceed by the news reporters from the movie, Sky Silver and Dazzle Feather, and including balloons right out of a Macy's Thanksgiving parade. Of course, Pipp absolutely adores having such a big ceremony in their honor, whereas Zip could very much do without it, not showing a lot of gratitude for how much their citizens love them, much to both Pipp and Queen Haven's annoyance. She is the future queen after all, much as she clearly would rather not be. Sunny, Izzy, and Hitch are watching all this on TV, and we're treated to a small flashback of Izzy taking leave of Bridalwood, to a supportive crowd of 1 full. I mean, wouldn't Alphabet at least want to wish her goodbye? That's just heartbreaking. Poor Izzy Belle. Back in Zephyr Heights, with the accompaniment of some absolutely adorable full pictures of the royal sisters. Queen Haven unveils a beautiful commemorative statue of the two. But things go awry when some picture-snapping fans get too close, scattering the balloon arch and popping Haven and Zipp's balloons, causing some very windswept royal mains. Still, the royal family is able to laugh it off pretty easily. Refreshing to see a good sense of humor in even her poshness. And so, with one last family selfie, the two sisters take their leave. And while Zipp isn't sure if she'll miss Zephyr Heights, she is sure that she's glad to be on a new adventure with her beloved little sister. They may not always see eye to eye, but her trendiness and her coolness are still pretty close, all things considered, and it's very sweet to see. Not so sweet seeing the poor guards having to deal with Pipp's luggage. Lastly for this batch, we have Nightmare Roommates. You remember how Road to Friendship taught us that the best of friends don't always make the best travel buddies? Well, they don't always make for the easiest of roommates either, as Sunny, Pipp, and Zipp discover when Izzy snores, talks, and uses magic in her sleep, in this case resulting in a brief ghost scare. Needless to say, it doesn't exactly provide a cozy atmosphere for a good night's sleep. That's only the beginning, though, as she also takes selfies with Pipp's phone with peanut-buttered hooves, uses Zipp's hairspray and messes up her crossword puzzle, and uses Sunny's electric toothbrush as an ear cleaner, something she and Paddington have in common. Izzy Bell always means well, but she's clearly lacking in certain rules of etiquette. Of course, knowing her history, it's not hard to see why. Even so, confronting Izzy about her behavior is easier said than done, as it's obvious she doesn't see a problem with how she acts, and Sunny doesn't want to hurt her feelings. She decides to ask Hitch for advice, and as they head for his office, remember how I said I'd bring up Sprout later? Well, looky there. He's on a wanted poster. What exactly happened between the movie and now, after he was knocked off his high horse of power and shunned by his own mother? Is he on the run now? Guess we'll have to wait and see. Hitch offers some good advice as a stallion of the law, saying that honesty is always the best policy, something Applejack would be proud to hear him say. He also demonstrates some good hospitality and kindness to a grouchy inmate in the lockup, brightening up his mood enough to apologize for his outburst, demonstrating that a thoughtful gift works wonders. Hitch may have been a victim of slapstick in these episodes so far, but this nicely proves he's just as capable of some heartfelt and serious moments as well, just like Spike in the later seasons of G4. That's why you're the sheriff, Sheriff. Also, it looks like he doesn't actually live in the Bright House himself. I mean, the guy's got a paid-off mortgage, so it makes sense. Armed with his advice, the three girls present Izzy with a gift. Her own articles of the stuff she borrows from her friends, so she doesn't have to use theirs anymore. Which Zipp rather bluntly says was getting annoying. At first, it looks like Izzy takes the hint a little too hard. But, taking a page from the honesty book, she then reveals she was only trying to fit in by doing what her new besties do, since she's never lived with friends before. Naturally, the girls realize, a little too late, that they should have just told Izzy how they felt from the start. And they assure her that she doesn't need to copy them to fit in, that she's perfect just the way she is. Of course, they're still going to have to work on the snoring, the sleep talking, and the sleep magic, but hey, baby steps, right? And that, my friends, was the first batch of episodes for My Little Pony Tell Your Tale. All in all, this show, so far, is sweet, funny, and charming. While it's mostly geared towards comedy, it's shown that it's just as capable of heartfelt and more serious moments too, like Sunny talking with her dad's picture. The humor is on point, just like it was in the movie, and while the voice cast is different, these new voice actors still very much fit our new ponies. We've also only got one song so far, so I'm eager to see what other songs they hit us with as the show goes on. There also seems to be a running theme of the ponies' cutie marks glowing when their friendship is especially strong, so I'm sure we'll be seeing that a lot. Of course, among the characters we were introduced to in the movie, only the main five, Queen Haven, Argyle, in picture form, the Zephyr Heights guards, Cloudpuff, and Sky and Dazzle have appeared so far. We still haven't seen a sign of either Phyllis, Alphabiddle, or Sprout, apart from that wanted poster of the latter. Hopefully we'll see them in future episodes, but for now, I'm very much satisfied with this introduction and can't wait to see more. Make Your Mark is set to premiere with a special on Netflix in May, so I'm looking forward to that too. Heck, there's even going to be a G5 game on the Nintendo Switch, and a G5 comic from IDW. This really does feel like the year of MLP, doesn't it? Well, folks, until next time, see ya!